going on? What's going on? It's your boy Dwayne Nettles, aka Mr. Nettles. I'm gonna toss it to my co-host.
What's good? It's your boy Jose right here. Big Jose. You know what I'm saying? I'm just ready to go get it rock and roll.
Big
It's
Jose.
the man. It's your boy Maximilian. Max Speed, man. However you want to call me, man. What's up, man?
All right, and collectively we make the Last in Hip Hop podcast. Today we're coming at you with episode 13. Today's episode gonna be a little special. It's gonna be a throwback episode in sorts, kind of like a flashback episode. We're gonna kind of reminisce on the origins of not only Latin hip hop, but the origins of our introduction into the entertainment industry as a whole. Really, this week just been kind of rapping, having conversation with people, and just really seeing a lot of young cats breaking into the industry for the first time, and just seeing that young hunger, I would say. It really made me recount really our introduction into the whole entertainment field. It just really brought back a sense of what it was like when we were 19, 20, 21 years old, with a whole lot of energy, a whole lot of excitement about what we were doing. So we're gonna use this time to kind of use this episode to kind of talk about that. We're gonna talk about some other topics as well, but we're gonna start it off like we always started off. Segment number one, we're gonna kick it off with "What are you wearing?" Max, you take the lead on what are you wearing? What you got rocking today?
Oh, man, Mr. Cozy, what I'm saying? Just a little hoodie. Got the Toronto fitted. I got some gray sweats on, man. Just something light, man. I'm in the crib, man. So,
Man, we feel you. I'm gonna go next simply because one of my constituents messaged me earlier today, said I'm about to kill you today. So it would only be right. It would only be right for me to let him go last. So I'm keeping it really simple today. Seriously, this time, keeping it simple. My staple headband, my headphones, my specs, a few wooden necklaces today, my champion sweatshirt, some blue denim, the kicks for the day, rocking the do the right thing, metallic red Jordan 1s. Still got the hang tag intact. So we keeping it real old school today since it's a throwback episode. I'm gonna toss it to Big Jose. Excuse me. I was about to say Jose. Toss it to Big Jose.
What's good, y'all?
Got
What's
the energy
poppin',
today.
man? You know what I'm saying? This like Jeezy 2.0, you know what I'm saying? I'm like his twin, but today, you know what I'm saying, I got a sweatshirt, one of my homegirls, Rochelle Renee, she made for me at a show. I actually didn't wear it to the show, but I'm actually wearing it now. As you can see what the shirt says, you know what I'm saying, I want you guys to support Black businesses, you know what I'm saying.
Hey.
I'm definitely going to drop the link for her website, you know what I'm saying, so you guys can go check it out as well. Her website is melanin/unicorn.myspotify.com. So, you guys go support Black businesses, you know what I'm saying, check her out. You know what I'm saying? I got the 14 karat gold chains under here too. You know, so I'm trying to
Pause.
you know, my mom, listen, my mom always told me, but listen, my mom always told me when you buy jewelry, you got to get at least 14 karat gold. If you guys want me to, you know what I'm saying, show it up to the camera, I'll be more than willing to do that. But let's just keep the show rolling. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it rolling.
We good.
Yeah.
All right. We see you, Big Jose. We see you.
Yes, sir.
We see you over there. All right, so we're gonna hop right into it. So let's reflect back. Let's look back at the beginning. So I think it's very first of all, Last in Hip Hop podcast is the best way for me to describe it is the birth child of almost over 15 years of friendship. So these are conversations we've been having for a long time. We're all entertainers in some form or another, and we want to bring those different paths and different passions to one place at one time to share. So I felt it only right to kind of talk about the origins. And really, we all got to this around the same time. So it's a really Like this is Laughs and Hip Hop is very new, but in a sense, it's not. We've been doing this for a long time as far as like having the conversations. So we just kind of want to give you some behind the scenes on where that came from. Um, so in the beginning, it's like, just being, what do you guys remember about the very beginning of us really getting into? I don't even know how to explain it. Like entertainment, the it was just the culture in general, like the fashion show. We were doing so much. It's hard to even remember everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, I think, this platform right here is just a byproduct of all that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you said, we were, start out the lab, like you said a few episodes ago, starting out the lab and, exchanging ideas and going to Miami, promoting parties and things like that. Fashion shows, just the whole culture with arts,
clothing line,
music, all that.
Label,
all
talent
that type of stuff.
talent management.
It's all that, man. Like
2012 Olympics,
the Olympics. Oh my God, how we forget the Olympics? How do we forget the Olympics?
Yes, yeah.
Man, it's a lot, bro.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, yeah.
I know this. I know. I would say, and I don't even know if this is 100% accurate, but I think as far back as I can pinpoint, the beginning. I mean, I would be remiss without shouting out our brother Eric Richardson, and cause like we're all super close. Really, the whole team: Eric Richardson, Rhea, Breslin, Miles, Security, Brandon. It's so many guys. Bilal. There's just so many affiliates. David. Like we go on for hours about guys who played
Willis,
a part.
Willis.
Red. Bro, we can just go on. Sean. Asia. I mean, Jay Gatz. I mean, it's so many names you can name about who played a part. And even guys who weren't necessarily affiliated with us, but guys who shared in the experience, shared in the ideas. People like Pat, and Drew,
Mark Simpson,
Mark, Patrick Curtin, like all these people that just played a part in the conversation, just us just sparking ideas and bouncing stuff. So the earliest I can pinpoint it back is to the lab, like going to the lab, talking, rapping, bouncing ideas, talking music, and then kind of from there taking that friendship and that common interest, moving it to a business standpoint. So with Five Fifths, initially, and I think we had so many interests and we were doing so many things at one time. It was just like it was really an opportunity, at least from my perspective. It was an opportunity for us all to figure out what our strengths were, but also where we all fit in and what we had to contribute across the board. I would say, because I think we all had our strengths. Like at the time, Jose was a college athlete, so that was his thing. Like he was doing it. That was his thing. Like he's a runner. Like, and he's competing at the collegiate level. So like he had that on that. He had that thing on he was doing it on a very high level. And he knew it better than any of us in the room. Even with me, like I had a knack for music and what stuff was supposed to sound like. So I quickly became like thrown into a space where we're gonna run music ideas by Wayne. Like he's an A&R.
You remember the blog?
The blog. Man, listen, I don't know. I forgot that. Like literally launched the blog. Like I managed it, creating content, throwing stuff out there, featuring artists, featuring our projects. Like it was. I don't know how I forgot that. That was crazy. Like listen, I think that was my first time really jumping out and like. I think that's probably my first time creating content.
Hey, you remember the first record? I don't know if y'all remember the first record, right? We were in the dorm room.
It was pushing?
Huh?
The first record?
Like the first record. Like it was supposed to be like remember
was that when we recorded it? Was that the one in was it Oak Street where we recorded
it? Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Listen, I almost forgot about that. Yeah.
What was that? What was that? Was we still undergrads or we?
No, we were still undergrad. Yeah, I was still in school.
Yeah, we was, because I remember,
listen,
I wasn't a rapper at the time, so.
Yeah,
None of us were. None of us were.
I wasn't even rapping.
I remember
Nobody were.
We was moving the shirts. Like we was doing, like E was doing the designs. We was moving the shirts. That kind of popped off. That kind of moved into the fashion lane. We was doing the fashion shows.
I think that was my senior year though.
I don't think it was though, Matt. Since before that, because
No?
I was, and the reason I know it wasn't because I was still an undergrad when we first started moving stuff. Because I remember, because when we recorded the record, Street, like we started pushing J Gats toward the end of me graduate, like right before we graduated. So I would say that was probably, it had to be at least junior year for me because I was still on campus.
And I do want to give a flashback for y'all too.
What's up?
5/5 started, I think it was winter of our sophomore year, because I remember
you're right.
Dwayne and Eric on the phone. Now, I remember my mom was asking me, like, what are you doing? I'm talking, I got all these ideas. We all were like coming up with ideas, like what we were going to do when we came back. And when we came back, that's when it like started.
That's when we just like hit the ground running. Like,
yep, we hit the ground running with it.
And I think that's the thing too, like, because I was at this past Tuesday, so I had a show last past Tuesday. So I've been kind of connected with a few people in Columbia. Really, again, it reminded me of the time like when we first started pushing. Well, it reminded me of two times. It reminded me the first time we started pushing like 5/5, but it also reminded me when we first launched. When me, Jose, and Max kind of broke away and not broke away. I shouldn't say broke away. We kind of launched Southern Comfort and started doing a new venture, and us really getting out there and meeting people and doing events and stuff of that nature. It reminded me that the energy was the same in a sense. So I was in a spot, black-owned spot, the Gold Den, a good team, Hollow Art. I've been kind of been hooking it up with. So I went to their spot. So I checked the show out on Tuesday. So I was rapping with a lot of cats then, just seeing, and I guess the age difference what made me think about it. Because at this time now I'm 34, so a lot of these cats in there were like, early 20s. Met a few young ladies in their early 20s, like 20, 21, and just seeing the excitement, just still there. So it really reminded me of that time when we first were getting started. So that's kind of what it reminded me of. But yeah, you got Kurt Jose. You're right though. It was like sophomore year. So it was probably sophomore year, and then I think we really kind of hit off. We kind of just like kind of took off like probably around junior year. But that's when we were doing everything. I know junior year. That's also when we went to Miami the first time. We went to Miami. It really was kind of like almost like a scouting trip. Like, okay, how can we make this work from a business perspective? But I think we're just doing a lot. We're doing a lot, to be honest. For real. Let's talk about this. So that was kind of the birth of, I think, really for all of us, as far as like our intro into like event planning, looking at entertainment on a outside of a consumer standpoint. I think, but really for as far as the collective, me, Jose, and Max as a trio, really I would say launching Southern Comfort and pushing that. As as our thing, as a subsidiary of 5/5. So I think that's the first time we all kind of connected, and when the three of us all got super close as far as working on a very specific project. Well, I'm gonna let you take it, Jose, because I know we identified early that when we started Southern Comfort, we wanted Jose to be out front. Like he had a vision in mind. He was going to be the voice, and me and Max were going to be more so the really the behind the scenes and just figuring out how is it supposed to sound. So what do you remember about when we first kind of launched Southern Comfort and pushing at the time Kurt Rivera?
Yeah, and that's when I went by the name of Kurt Rivera. I remember me and Max recording in the Claire Tower. We had recorded Payday. A horrible project.
No.
Nah, we ain't gonna do that.
We're not
Nah,
gonna
we ain't gonna do that. Now
We're
you throwing shots now. Come on, bro. Don't do that.
No. I'm saying for me.
No, listen.
Nah.
No, this one we're not gonna let you say that. No, I'm not gonna let you say it.
Nah, don't do
Because
that.
listen, because this is what I say.
But you
Payday.
gotta let me finish though.
No, I'm gonna let you finish. You gotta let me interject though.
All right.
Without Payday, we don't have Jose Rivera.
I
That was
totally
a
agree with you.
Payday was like
And that's why I
my
said I'm
favorite.
gonna finish it. Let me finish.
He said
So
terrible. It was a terrible,
we
terrible
dropped
project.
Payday. Me and Max worked extremely hard. I'm talking about like we worked, like I'm talking about we stand up like 6 a.m. We you know what I'm saying? That's when we was doing 100 takes. We was doing many times as it took. 100 takes. We was getting whatever it took to get it done.
Do it again.
So but listen, you remember we put the project out. The reviews, terrible. People were like, yo, don't quit your job and all this other stuff. So
We had a little tour though. I don't like your tone right now, bro. Like I don't like your tone. Like you disrespecting the hard work.
But listen, I'm turning something negative into positive. So I remember this is a key moment of how I got better.
Negative?
Hold on. I'm turning the negative into a positive. I remember Dwayne Nettles introduced me to Kashif Wingo. He said, hey, I want you to work with my friend Curtis.
Before you go there, let me jump in.
All right, go ahead.
Because I recall Payday. I remember we doing Payday. I remember Kurt went and got the audio box, got the headset, got the mic. We sit up in the closet. And I remember
we lost Mr. Nettles there.
I'm back.
All right, there you go. Boom.
But I remember Kurt getting the audio box, setting up, getting the mic, headphones, setting up in the Clear Tower. And I remember really that whole time was special because I remember literally sending Jose beats every day, bouncing ideas, throwing stuff out there.
Yes.
And I think the Payday process was very much a foundational project to the point where, okay, we need to get to the habit of recording stuff, putting stuff together, building the project, building a sound. So we recorded it. We recorded it all ourselves. So like very amateur tape, doing everything in house. But I think it also taught us, it was a success in a way because it was us actually like, okay, we said we were gonna do something. We went out and did it. We put it together. We bounced ideas. We completed it, and we recorded it on our own. So reviews aside, like that was a success. I know from my standpoint, I've always been. I'm a music guy, but I'm not a creator of music. So I could tell you what something's supposed to sound like. I can't necessarily create that. So after looking at Payday, looking at and really just evaluating and looking at the good, bad, and indifferent, I know I told myself, all right, if we're going to take Curtis to the next level, I can't do that from a production standpoint. I need to put Kurt in the hands of somebody I trust and somebody I know that can professionally do that. So in that sense, I have a friend of mine who I've known Kashif since my senior year of high school. I met Kashif. We were in the same scholarship program, and we used to intern in Clemson. So I remember one summer, chilling with Kashif, and I was in the dorm, and Kashif was playing these beats, and I was like, who is Kashif playing in here? Like nothing. I didn't know what it was. I just heard him playing these beats. And I'm like, Sheaf, who are you playing, yo? What is he playing? And Sheaf was in there like, this me, like this my shit. So I was just sitting there dumbfounded. And at the time, because we were very young, at the time I'm 19, Kashif is 20. So Kashif is playing me these beats, and I'm a music guy, so I'm sitting there like, Sheaf is playing this radio ready production in a Clemson dorm room at 20 years old. I'm like, this shit is stupid, right? So fast forward, we recorded Payday. That was what year was that, Curtis? Was that 2009, 2008?
2009.
2009. So we're recording Payday 2009. So this is literally 4 years removed from that. So after we record Payday, me and Kashif still have a relationship. Curtis knows Kashif from going to school with him, but he doesn't have a personal relationship with Sheaf. So I hit up Sheaf like, yo, Sheaf, my roommate Curtis, he's recording, he's doing a project. You see us doing the work. I know you're a great producer. I want you to work with Kurt. give him some stuff, give him some pointers. And I know you could drive him in a direction that like you know my vision, but I can't create that. Because I knew Sheaf was the person. He was the person I trusted, and I trusted his ability. So I knew that was the person that Curtis could work with and get him to the next level. So really, that was the introduction to Curtis and Kashif. And that's when Kashif started doing, really, Kashif ended up becoming like, and I'm sorry I didn't mention him earlier, Kashif really started becoming like the in-house producer for Southern Comfort, to be honest. So, Kurt, what do you remember about when I kind of, because I can't remember,
So
it's kind of foggy. I don't remember.
the funny part, I remember I met Kashif where I think it was at the State House. I met him at the State House. I gave him the demo of Payday. I never heard back from Kashif, right? I'm talking about, it was like butts went by. It got real rough for me. Like it got real rough. I'm talking about, like, I got evicted from Claire Tower. I remember, and I gotta shout out to Max and Mark, you know what I'm saying? Because at that moment, I could have let everything go. I remember they was putting my stuff out, and I was like, basically, fuck the microphone, fuck the audio box. Like, Mark went and picked up the shit. Like, he was like, no, we got to keep this. So I remember I hit Kashif up. I don't know if, for some reason, I have this memory. I think you spoke to Kashif, and you told Kashif, if Curtis doesn't get better, I'm going to pay you. And
I didn't say that, but we did have a conversation.
But listen, so Kashif reached out to me and was like, hey, like, these are my prices. I was like, listen, at that moment, I think I was staying with Mark. I remember it was a lot of us in there. You know, I appreciate Mark for taking me and Max in. And Kashif gave me an opportunity. He was like, yo, I'm going to work with you. He was like, we going to get you better. So I remember, like, going from not having a job to, like, I was like selling like newspapers. I didn't even have insurance. I was like taking a chance.
I remember the paper route.
I had like no insurance, no cell phone. I remember I got pulled over one day by like Columbia police at like 4 a.m. So it's like, I'm doing a newspaper, and then I'm going to Kashif crib when I'm getting done. I'm working from like 4 a.m. like 8. Then I'm going to Kashif crib and we recording. So we starting the process. This is when the layoff started. So we starting the process with the layoff. This was like probably like the first official project under Southern Comfort. So me and Sheep is like, we going hard. So it's like, he's teaching me like the basis of like how to rap, like how to come up with different rhyme schemes and rhyme patterns. When we go into his crib, sometimes I would just listen to different artists so I can get a general idea of like how I wanted to rap, because I didn't have like a sound. And he would like rap it for me. Like, he didn't never change my raps. He just said, this is how you need to rap it. So he would rap it, and then I would like go behind him and do it and he would like push me until the sound came out. So eventually I kept working on that project, and then we came out with the layoff. Max, you know what I'm saying? Max worked on the layoff with me. You know, Wayne was very instrumental. And then after the layoff, that's where Becoming Legendary 1 had started. So we did Becoming Legendary 1. I would say like monumental moments that I remember from that was
wait a minute, let me ask you this, Jose.
Yes.
Because we want to touch this too. What I'm trying is this when it gets blurry. When did the Jose Rivera rebrand start?
That's
What
far.
project?
That's recent, right?
I'm gonna explain that too. I'm gonna explain how Jose came.
All right.
So that
was after Becoming Legendary, though, right?
I'm still Kurt Rivera.
Okay, that
there was a girl that worked at, I think it was Complex. Her name was on Instagram was a girl with a fro. I forgot her name actually. That's terrible. But I let her listen to Becoming Legendary. She liked the music, but she said I didn't have an identity and I didn't have a story. So she was saying like, that's something you need to work on. So I remember like some of the moments from like Becoming Legendary, like I got a chance to like meet like Priest Jacobs and meet like Fat Rat Bazaar in Columbia, like, Shakis, very like instrumental like in the Columbia hip hop scene like when I was there. So got a chance to, open for Camp Low, had that opportunity to do that. I'm trying to think of some other things. Got a chance to perform at festivals. I felt like I had did so much in Columbia and I couldn't just go up. So I relocated to Atlanta. When I first moved to Atlanta, it was difficult because I didn't have Max and I didn't have you, Wayne. So it was like everything I was doing, it was literally by myself. It became very stressful. And then it came to a point where I felt like your focus became more with education. I saw that. And as a result of that, I said, you know what? I don't feel that my friend is putting the work that he needs to put in order for us to get to the next level. So I'm like, instead of me getting mad, I'm like, I need to rebrand myself. So that's why I first started. I went from Southern Comfort to Organic Culture Music because I wanted to bring like organic music to like, like my peers and my family and like the area and the region. I wanted to like bring something different to hip hop. Now, as far as my name, I remember the girl from Benedict telling me that my name didn't ring no bells. So when I was at Benedict, I had an opportunity to meet talk to my grandfather. I talked to him a couple of times. His name was Jose. I talked to him a couple of times. We lost communication. He passed away in Atlanta. So when I had moved to Atlanta after a couple of months, I remember, I'm like, you know what? I want to go with Jose Rivera. I remember I told you guys and y'all laughed at me. Like, I remember Max laughed and you laughed, right? I'm talking about, like, I felt bad. And, like, in my heart, it just told me, like, you got to stay with this. And the reason why I went with that is because my grandfather was Panamanian. Like, my family is Panamanian. So I felt like with using his name, I felt like I will always be honoring, like, my family's name. Like, when they see, like, that name on, like, different websites, if I ever make it to, like, top Billboard charts or anything like that, I feel like I'm honoring like my family's name, and I'm honoring like my mother's culture as well. As far as the Jose, when I first did it, I'm trying to figure out like how I want to spell my name. So I type in Jose Rivera, it's like a billion Jose Riveras. So I'm trying to figure out what do I like. At the time, I'm like, you know what? I like money. So I changed the S to the money sign because at that point, it distinguished me away from every other Jose Rivera. Like when you type that in, it's gonna come up. And then that's where, Jose Rivera started and the brand from there. So
the birth of Jose Rivera. Yeah, we can't get rid of him.
Yeah, man. And you know what? I definitely want to give a shout out to, my man Max on the podcast. Like, Max has been there from the beginning. I'm talking about like when we was recording to the closet, you know what I'm saying? So it's like when I look at people like, you know what I'm saying, like that's just been there from the Wayne, you've been there too, but it's like me and Max.
Max in the mud. Max in the mud.
Yeah, Max was in the mud with me the whole time. And then what's crazy, how life evolves, Max turns around and moves to Atlanta. So I'm like, damn, like God must be like working with me. It just so happened that he just moved to Atlanta. So it's like now I got another partner, you know what I'm saying, homie, you know what I'm saying, friend, brother, that's pushing me to get to that next level. And it's been a couple times that, like life just threw curveballs at me. I remember when I moved in an apartment, boy, I ain't even had no furniture, boy. That boy Max was like ready to record. Like, I'm talking about we had the laptop. Yeah, we had the laptop, Wayne, listen, we had the laptop with no screen.
It's funny you say that.
I had to plug another computer up to that, another computer screen, so we would be able to see. And we was using Persona Studio One. That's what
I remember Studio One, yeah.
Yes, we was using that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to think. And then I would say like another level of me leveling up, and I value this friendship to this day, is my friend Daryl Gardner. I'm working at Tiny Town. It's a place where you teach kids how to drive. I think I started off making $8. That was my part-time job. My full-time job, I think I was making $15. But Atlanta's kind of expensive. Like my rent now is like $1,200, so you can't survive off $15. So I'm like, damn, I gotta get more money so I can like invest in my craft. So while I'm there, me and Daryl, you know what I'm saying, he was some guy, he was somebody that I saw like, damn, he doing good. He worked just as hard as me. So we started working the same shifts. he's like, what do you do? I'm like, shit, I do music. He do music too. So the friendship just built from there. And one thing that I value with Daryl was the fact that he was willing to learn. Well, I would say this with everybody. Everybody was willing to learn something to help me, like move forward in my career. Like with Max, when it came to the websites, I remember early in my career, when Max was emailing with me, he like, yo, what websites you on? Max is going, getting the email addresses for me, emailing. You know what I'm saying? Max asked me like, yo, whatever you need, I got you. If you need a hype man, if you need a feature, shoot, Max might give man security sometime. Max like, yo, I'm gonna be secure. Max was everything. And the same thing with Daryl. Like, Daryl filled in all the roles. You know what I'm saying? Like, even engineering, like, we was trying to figure out, damn, how do we engineer? Like, we really went and got Pro Tools. We went and got Pro Tools. We went and got the speakers. We didn't know how to use none of it. Daryl literally went on YouTube and learned how to engineer. And I would say some of the records that I have now, they started with the Jose Rivera, like the project that I'm working on now. It was Daryl that was actually recording me. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, yo, we gonna record. I'm talking about we stand up like 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. Daryl's like, yo, you got to get back and do it again. I don't like how this sounds. And another valuable thing I would say is me and Kashif, I was going back and forth to South Carolina, and it got to a point where, like, I just couldn't go back to South Carolina. And Daryl was like, yo, you can't continue to go back to South Carolina to try to create that magic that you and Sheep had. He was like, yo, you have to do that now. Like, what if Diddy calls you in the studio? What are you going to do? You going to say you need Kashif? So it's like I got better because of Daryl. And then it was like, because we were able to do those records, I was able to meet like other people as well. And it's like, it just built up and built up and built up and went from there. So
That's what's up. That's a big part too. I know, and me and Jose had this conversation all the time. When Jose did the rebrand and the relaunch of Organic Culture, I felt like that was a big stepping stone for him. And really at that time, Jose was developing, not only with the rebrand, it wasn't just a matter of changing his name. It was a rebrand of him as that persona, I would say. So even his sound changed, like, and so he was even crafting his own sound in his own mode. So really, I kind of took a step back too, because I'm like, well, he's rebranding and he's launching this new sound. That was my time to kind of step back. Like, you know what, this is a process. He has to develop this sound for what he wants it to be. So really, I kind of take a step back just from the standpoint of, I can't push a sound on him when he's creating something that's going to be, and really it makes sense. It's 100%. It's organic culture. He's making a sound that's truly organic to who Jose is. So I think kind of stepping back kind of push him into that lane. So I think it's very imperative for Daryl to kind of step in and take that role for him to launch that. So I think that's a big part of building who Jose is today, I would say.
And Max was instrumental. I would
dope.
say a lot of the decisions that I made, like in Atlanta, I always ran them by you guys. Like, I'm talking about from the features, from like PR, like everything that I did, we having conversations. Like me and Max on the phone, like, I'm like, yo, what you think about this? You know what I'm saying? What you think about that? You know what I'm saying? Just for both of you guys. I definitely appreciate you guys just being there, you know what I'm saying? Even like for ear to listen, when I'm complaining and just trying to grow, you know what I'm saying, as an artist, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know Max, man, boy, he definitely he get the Nobel Peace Prize, boy.
Thank you, Jose. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, man. Listen, I gotta. You know what's crazy? I do have to give Max this credit. Some of the lingo that I even use in my rap, it come from Max, to be honest with you, because me and him was together so often. It got to the point where I'm saying John and boy and rap. Max getting mad, like, yo, you not from Philly. why are you doing this? I'm like, I don't know.
I
And it's
never got
because
mad.
I'm just saying. But I ain't saying you get mad, but we had conversations
Hey, you know
about
what though?
it.
You know
He
what's funny
probably was
though?
laughing.
You know what's funny though?
I never
Yeah,
did that. What are you talking
Hey,
about?
you know what's funny? This is hilarious. I thought it was the other day.
yeah.
Our crew has always been, and even just three of us, our crew has always been so diverse as far as like regionally where we're all from. Like it was hard for people, even in college, to kind of pinpoint where everybody was from because
I agree.
we all moved into collective, and we share lingo. Like even to this day, like when somebody calls me on the phone, I'm like, "You're,
Yep. We all said that. Yo.
you're." They're like, "Yo, where is Wayne from?" Yo, like this man saying, "You're," like, "Yo, that little Joan." They be like, "Yeah, I had it, shorty."
Yep.
Right.
Listen,
Like,
we don't
yo,
even say shawty. We be like,
be
yo,
like
I
that
was
little
talking to
shorty
Shorty the other day, but the John, she
or the
ain't pick up
Joan
the phone.
or look the
Hey, look at
youngin.
that. That's right there. You from our town?
They look be like the youngin. But look, we be throwing lingo
Oh my
that mix.
God.
And then you know me, I be like, man, Bo, that boy.
Yeah, so
But yeah,
but
so
yeah,
that's
I
my pinpoint.
definitely appreciate you guys, man. I'm talking about like, what I'm saying, like from the beat selection. Wayne, me and Wayne got a love and hate relationship when it comes to picking beats, boy. Oh my God, boy. But Max, boy, I come to Max and be like, bro, you like this beat? That boy Max be like, yeah, bro, let's go. That boy Max ready to work. I send that same beat to Wayne. Wayne be like, trash.
Trash.
Wayne sent me another beat that at the time I couldn't even rap over. It might be like an NERD beat. I'm like, yo, I can't rap over this. Like, I can't. Like, I'm like, yo, so me and Wayne always had
Hey,
like,
but that's when the light bulb went off for me. Like, you know what? I like this is a dope beat, but my vision for Curtis doesn't match the vision that Jose Rivera. That's when I took a step back. I'm like, you know what? I gotta let him navigate this space, and I'm gonna tell him if it's good, bad, or indifferent.
yeah.
But
So
it works though. Let's do this. Because like I think we've all have been there in each other's journey in some capacity the entire time. Um, I kind of got back into entertainment on the comedy side is pretty new. Um, Most people who know me know I've always been a guy that kind of been playing around, just make people laugh, and that's just been something I do. But a lot of people recently were beginning to push me. It was like, yo, you should pursue it, like pursue it, like they're like doing you funny. So I started writing a lot. And I know one thing for me, because I'm a big consumer of media just in general. So I've always been a consumer of rap, consumer of comedy, really consumer of everything. So one thing I always told myself, if I ever did it, I wanted to at least attempt it on a respectable level.
mhm.
So I just really spent that time just writing and just just learning the scene, like who's out here, how does the set work, how's the open mic work, and just learning the lingo. So I spent a long time doing that. Then I kind of got into the class and got into a comedy class and prepared my first. And really in comedy, I learned this recently. Um, you write comedy 5 minutes at a time for the most part. So really the purpose of the class was to develop that first 5 minutes. So really sitting in the class, working on my craft, working that first 5 minutes. And I got to shout out some people that have been instrumental to my career comedy wise. And really it's something I kind of kept to myself outside of people who was in my close circle. Like Jose knew I was in the class. I think Max knew I was in the class, but I don't know. I don't know if they knew the level of behind the scenes stuff I was putting in necessarily. Um, so
We
definitely want to
did.
shout.
We did not, bro. I ain't even gonna
So,
lie to you.
so I would say, but I will say this: like Jose and Max were very instrumental in this. Because I'm very much a person when I bounce ideas. A lot of times I bounce ideas. Our group chat. I would say this: our group chat is thing of legend. I'm just gonna leave it at. I'm gonna just leave it at that. So a lot of I would say a lot of my material comes out of the group chat. Stuff I'm bouncing off, I just outlandish stuff out here. and stuff will bounce back and forth. So that's played a big part in a lot of the stuff I've written. But also a lot of people on the comedy scene, Jen Snyder, who taught my class, um, Patrick Fowler, a guy who gave me mic time early in the beginning. My guy, Travis T. Link, a guy who's given me a whole lot of stage time, but also a guy who started doing stand up around the same time as me. My guy, Sauce Got Jokes, Michael Garrett. So a lot of cats I noticed that on the comedy scene, and there's plenty of others. I don't want to leave any names out, but there's plenty of guys on the scene doing the same thing I'm doing. But I noticed there's a strong collective of young, up and coming, funny people. We're just bouncing ideas like night in, night out, and really just getting into that process, going to open mics, going to shows, and really I would say staying out late and just taking notes and seeing other people doing their craft. Has really been super impactful for me from a comedic perspective. I remember getting, and I'll even say this, there's even been some professional comments on the scene. My first night doing stand-up, hitting the stage ever, I remember walking in, signed up for open mic, because my Jen really wanted me to do a set before the graduation show as part of my class. So one day at the class, I said, I'm gonna stay late, I'm gonna stay after, I'm gonna do open mic at the spot. So signed up, showed up 8 o'clock, go into the green room to look at the see who's on set that night, who's performing. And kid you not, right in front of me performing is a professional comic. So I'm right in here like, yo, my first night performing, I got a professional comic going up right in front of me. And the professional comic, who was Mike Goodwin, a guy I look at, a guy I have a lot of conversations with when I see him on the scene. Really also a guy who's helped me a lot in my process. But I remember going up performing, and I remember just nerves being shot, super nervous, like, yo, I'm about to do this. Then the thing about it, I think the thing that made it nervous, like in a room full of comedians, that's what made it a little more nerve wracking. But I remember just getting on stage that first time, getting out there, I would say within the first couple seconds, telling that joke and getting that first laugh. Like a first genuine laugh, it was like it really set up my nerves, and I kind of set into really what I was doing at that point. So got in, did the first 5 minutes, and really I would say it was like, for me it was unreal, because I never expected to go out there the first time and get the response I got. Like going out there performing jokes you perform for the first time in a professional setting, I would say, and getting the response I got, I don't know if I was ready for it. Like to get on stage the first time and tell a joke, and to hear people in the crowd clapping, and I was like, I wasn't expecting that. So coming off stage the first time, and really I would say really being embraced by the comedy scene that first time, really helped my confidence as far as like, okay, this is something I could really pursue. So did that. I would say I performed twice before my graduation show. First night went very well. Second night, and Kurt know about Art Bar. I went over to Art Bar the second night, performed there. Crowd wasn't as receptive that night. Still a pretty decent response, but crowd not quite as receptive. So it really gave me a chance to kind of take notes and compare. I had both sets recorded, so I kind of looked at both of them, looked at, okay, what I want to add, what I want to take out. And that kind of helped me prepare for my graduation show. I remember the night before graduation show, hitting up our instructor. And I remember she texted us, that morning she texted us like, yo, you guys are going to be performing for a mostly sold out show. So I was like, dang, we gotta have almost a sold out show. And I remember by the time I text back later that day, I was like, yo, what time we need to show up? She was like, show up. The show was at 8, I believe. Like, so we showed up like 7:45. She was like, show up 7:45. And she was like, oh yeah, by the way, show sold out. No, matter of fact, show was almost sold out. I remember arriving to the venue, going to the green room, setting up. And I remember my parents had got there, my mom and sister had just got there. Some of my friends were showing up. So I was talking to everybody as they were coming into the venue. So I went in and talked to my mom in the showroom. So I was talking to everybody, and the room was filling up. So I was talking to my mom and my sister. I was like, yo, we almost got a I was like, we almost got a sold out show. Like we about to sit, we close to selling the place out. And I remember a older white couple coming in, this older white lady, this older white gentleman coming in. She was like, "Oh no, you guys are sold out. We just bought the last 2 tickets."
Whoa.
So I was like, yo, wow, like yo, we legit sold the joint out. So I remember the show, like it was surreal, yo. Like, I remember just just taking it in this is the first time I taken in a show as an observer and a participant in the show. So just seeing my classmates go up, seeing the crowd respond. But I remember specifically, like them just announcing my name that night to go up there, like going up, getting on stage. Like it was the first time I settled into a show, and it's the first time I felt like a professional. Like hearing the crowd go up, going up on stage, settling in, telling jokes. And I would say that was the first time I told a joke and got like it felt like a Netflix special in reverse. Like you're telling like you're telling, and the thing about the crazy part about it, you can't really see the crowd like that. You can see like the front row, but you can't really see anybody else. So like being on stage telling jokes and hearing people laugh, but like you can hear so you can't see the people, but you can hear laughs come from different directions. And I think the coolest part about it was hearing laughs you recognize in the crowd, in different parts of the crowd. So you're like, oh, that's my sister. You're like, oh, that's my mother. You're like, oh, that's my step. Like, oh, that's my father-in-law. Oh, that's my partner, Savelle in the back. So it was a dope feeling just hearing that and experiencing it, and really getting that. Really, that's the first time that's the first time I told a joke, and like literally had to stop myself mid joke because I could hear people like a standing ovation, like not standing ovation, but like hearing an applause. Like it's one thing to tell a joke and hear somebody laugh. It's another thing to tell a joke and hear somebody like clap. I'm like, yo, these dudes, like people out here are like clapping. Like I've never experienced that. Like, I've never told a joke and heard somebody clap. Like oh my god. So it was just a reaffirming experience after that show. It's like, and it's one thing for your friends and your family to tell you like, yo, you did a good job. That was good. Hearing strangers come up to you like after the show, like, yo, that was funny. Like that was hilarious. And not only that, like to hear like people that don't look like me come up to me and like, yo, that was funny. Like I really enjoyed it. But I remember one specific moment after I got off stage, went back into the green room, was changing, sitting my stuff down, about to change back into like what I had on for the day. One of the guys who performed a guest spot at our show, an older guy, Marcus D. I got a show with him tomorrow, matter of fact. Marcus recently. And Marcus is in his 60s, man, been doing it for a minute. And Marcus was just like, give me a breakdown. He was like, yo, he's like, that's some of the best stuff I've ever seen, yo. And he was like, you can't tell me you just got started. So really, that moment was really kind of the moment for me to kind of like, you know what, this is legit, and like for me to kind of take it serious. So that's kind of the beginning of my, really me being like out front and center. But I attribute a lot of that to Max. I attribute a lot of that to Kurt. Like, and so seeing them on stage, seeing them do it, though, it kind of gave me the confidence. Like, you know, that they do it. You know, I can get out there. Let me get out front and try to really try to experience, see what this is. And from there, you know, so this was back in February. So I'm getting into the comedy scene like as a performer then. But this is also around the time when COVID first hit. So COVID hits and, you know, shuts all that momentum down. So at that point, you know, we're all kind of sitting in the crib just having conversations about what we're doing, what we're working on. And we're all just honestly, we're all kind of at a standstill, like, yo, what do we do? Like, yo, what do we do? So I think from that moment is when we kind of started. I think that's when we kind of started the brainchild for Last of Hip Hop. You know, ideas came to me one day. I'm like, yo, I'm a comedian. Like, Kurt, you're a rapper. Like, we're gonna do a play on the Love and Hip Hop. Like, yo, we call it Last and Hip Hop. You know, I bring the laughs, you bring the hip hop. You know, we just talk.
But you know what? I mentioned this to you before. When
we
you
did.
brought up a podcast with me, I'm like, I don't know if I want to do no podcast. I'm like, I'm a rapper. Like,
we were talking about it a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, like I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. But the reason why I did it is because I'm like, I always felt that Wayne had great ideas, and I'm like, it wasn't like just a random person like come to tell me. It was like my brother. So I'm like, I'm just gonna trust the process, and I'm going to see how this works. And
I mean, that's it.
then,
Listen, that's basically what it was. It was like,
yeah,
I was like,
I
listen,
just trusted the process.
I was like, listen, we both sitting at home, we both chilling. I like, listen, like it's like I said, at the end of the day, we're creating a platform that's gonna put both of us, and not so much what we do on a day to day, because the podcast I'm not doing stand up per se, and Jose ain't rapping per se, but you know, the hip hop comes out, the jokes come out just naturally, organic. And we're like, you know, why not just create a platform and just you know, discuss what we talk about every day. So it
Yeah, and then
just
when you
naturally
brought Max
came
on, I
out.
ain't gonna lie, I thought my spot was gonna be taken, bro. No, listen, no offense, Max, bro. I thought I was being replaced. I said,
Oh
hold
God.
up, I gotta step it up a whole another level. Got to.
But that's dope too, though. Even in the beginning,
No,
like
I'm just playing. I'm just playing though.
no,
I was glad when you brought Max
no.
on.
On a serious note, though, like when we first launched it, you know, me and Kurt were just talking in general, just about, you know, the ideas and what we want to do, and we were talking talking long term about what we wanted to do. And I know we had a lot of ideas about bringing people on, and Matt's name kept coming up. We were like, yo, what do we think about Matt? We want to bring Matt on, like we want to bring him on as a guest. And I was just thinking like, yo, like, and because me and Matt, we weren't having the conversations like me and Jose was having, in terms of the show, and I didn't know Matt's comfort level as far as, you know, coming on like, you know, like full time. So I said, you know what? I said, we'll launch it. You know, we're gonna pitch it to Max. You know, let's
Yeah,
bring
I
Max.
appreciate it, man.
Yeah, we was like, yo,
You know,
we was like, yo, let's
I
bring Max in.
appreciate it, man.
Yo, we was like, yo, let's bring Max in as a guest, and let's see, you know, see how you feel about it. So we bounced that idea by Max. So Max, you want to come do a spot? So Max hit us up like, yeah, I'm gonna do a spot. So we hey, listen. I don't want to say that we kind of had the idea and plan the whole time, like, because it really, to be honest, from jump, we were like, yo, ideally we would want Max on, like, from like for the whole process. So we say, you know,
Hey,
bring Max
man,
on, bring
God
him as a
bless
guest.
you guys, man. You know, appreciate the opportunity, man. Shout out to Wayne and shout out to Jose, man. You
Listen,
know the
man, Max,
vibes, man.
tell us your little story, man, in the entertainment, bro. Like,
Listen,
tell
man.
us.
I listen. I was your hype man, man. I was everything, man. You know, we used
You
to
you
be in
was,
South
bro.
Carolina. Listen,
You was an artist too, bro. You weren't just no
listen.
hype
Hold on.
man,
Let me
man.
get
Come
to
on.
it. So, we were grinding. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We grinding. And the thing about it, you know what's crazy? Crazy thing about it, we still are grinding. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So it really ain't nothing changed too much. You know what I'm saying? So
Nah,
we still here, man. You know,
we still moving.
simple as that.
We still moving. So, you know, that's after bringing Max on as a guest. You know, Max came on. Then Max came on the next week. Guest spotted the next week. And then after that, it was like, it was set in stone. Like, yeah, Max is a staple. is
Proud of you guys, man.
a staple at the levels of hip hop, master hip hop. So that's us in a nutshell. That's how we got started. You know, in the industry. That's where Laughing Hip Hop been. You know, we've been on every week since starting. Yeah, you know, ain't
And
look back.
something I do want to
Yeah.
mention. I learned throughout the past couple of years, just all of us grinding is just. I felt like the more I invested in my career, I felt like the more chances that I got. Like
It's true.
me investing with Sean Fallion, like that was like I literally came down to a show and met Sean Fallion at like a show. I was still in Columbia. Me reaching out to Mickey Fats. I remember when he first I reached out to him, like the feature price, I couldn't afford it. I had to stack my bread up. When I reached back out to him, you know what I'm saying? We built like a relationship from there. Reaching out to Euro got it, you know what I'm saying? So it was like I felt like the more I invested in my career, it's like the bigger things got, you know what I'm saying? So, and I appreciate you guys, you know what I'm saying, as well. Just, just making sure those decisions was as good as possible. So
Right. That's what it is, though. That's what it is.
oh
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
and Max, Wayne, listen, we gotta figure out, me and Max, we gotta do. Listen, me and Max gotta do a tape, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and say it, bro. We gotta do a tape, me and
Listen,
Max, bro.
go and put it out there. Put it in the universe.
I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there.
Don't put it in the
Me
universe.
and Max gotta do a tape.
You heard it here first.
What's your thoughts, Max? What's up?
The Jose and Max tape coming soon.
Listen, man.
And listen, Wayne
listen.
Nettles got is executive producer.
It don't matter. It don't matter. It don't matter to me, man. I'm with this shit.
I ain't say all that. I don't know if I got time.
Kurt, what happened? Kurt, hey,
I
Kurt.
don't know if I.
Let me say this. Hey, Kurt,
I don't know if I got a time commitment for executive producer.
Hey, Kurt. You know, every time I come over, man, I give you balls. Like, what else do you want from me, man? Every time I feel like, what else do you want from me, man? I come over, I give you bars.
Listen, this is what I had to contribute.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen.
This is what I had to contribute. I don't know if I have time to contribute an executive producer spot, but what I can do, because I'm already executive producing the podcast, so that's a full-time job.
I mean, I think you're making excuses. I mean,
this is what I'm gonna do.
Listen,
this is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do.
Records.
This is what I'm gonna do.
Just give me a match 4 records.
No, executive producer, you gotta produce the whole thing. You gotta be oversight.
There you go. Give us 4 records.
Y'all gonna do an EP?
Yeah, man. I'm willing to do it, my bro.
I might could do an EP.
Yeah, bro. Give us 4 records, bro.
That's what I got. I got 4 records and a skit in me. That's what I got.
There you go. I'm and you do the skit, bro.
I got 4 records.
Listen, but listen, you gotta let me pick the features, bro. You gotta let me. I need a feature on this. But listen, we're gonna need a little help. I don't know if me and Max, we're gonna need a little.
As a matter of fact, you know what? Hey, that's it. We're gonna do the listen. We're gonna do a 4-track, 1 skit EP. It's gonna include the Last Hip Hop sound. Matter of fact, it could be the Last Hip Hop soundtrack.
There you go. And listen, we gotta get Mickey Fats on there, bro. Mickey Fats, bro. I'm gonna text you, bro. I need some help, bro.
There we go. We got it like that. We're gonna drop a skit.
Mickey Fats and Curtis Williams.
Hey, that's fine. I'm listen. I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed.
Good, bro.
I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed whatsoever. That sounds like a plan.
Just bring your best.
Hey,
bro.
all right, no, this is what we're gonna do.
No,
matter of fact, let's do this. We're gonna do a trade-off.
All right.
I'm gonna executive produce the project. I'm gonna do a skit. So I'm going to journey back into the rap world. So Matt said it earlier. Matt said he always wanted to dabble in comedy. This is nothing serious. I want both of you to write a hot 5 minutes of comedy. and I want you guys to come and do open mic.
Ooh.
5 minutes. That's it.
Max, all right, listen, bro. I'm down for it, bro.
5 minutes. I want to see y'all on stage. 5 minutes.
I'm down, bro.
I want to see my brothers. I want to see Last Hip Hop.
Listen, bro. Listen, I'm telling you, my topic gonna be Trump, bro. It's all with.
It could be whatever.
Trump.
It could be whatever. Matter of fact, listen.
That's my Trump club, bro.
The gears are turning. Hold up. The gears are turning.
I'm coming for you, bro.
Hey, the gears are turning. I got an idea. I'll pitch the idea after the show, though. I'll pitch the idea after the show. I got an idea. Got an idea. All right, let's do this. All right, so you heard it first. So we're getting the Last Hip Hop soundtrack. We're gonna get the boy Max Speed and the boy King Jose Rivera on that comedy stage with that first 5 minutes. We're gonna get that first type 5. We might have a comedy trio live on stage pretty soon. We'll see what comes.
I'm gonna do mine like battle rap style. You can on the Nick Cannon. I'm gonna do mine like that, bro. Battle rap.
That's the thing. We could do that. All right, let's do this. All right, let's jump. So we talked about the origins. Let's hit a few topics we want to discuss before we wrap up today. Let's bring back the false narrative this week. So Jose hit me up. Was it yesterday? I can't remember yesterday or not.
No, it was today, bro.
Was it today? Is it today?
Yeah, I sent you that video.
I thought it was yesterday. Maybe it was today.
No, it was today.
So, it's nothing new. Constantly in the news, somebody's in the news about police brutality. So we were just rapping, just in general conversation about police reform. It's been a topic on the podcast a few times. So we felt it's only right. Today's false narrative. One of the big things that kept coming up is the idea of compliance. If you comply, you'll be okay. So we want to discuss compliance for the false narrative. So the false narrative today that we're gonna dispel and discuss briefly. If you comply, you'll be okay. And just from just from experience and just seeing it, that's not always the case. So me and Matt had a long conversation about compliance today. And just the police reform, and not even so much digging deep into it because we discussed it already, but the idea of compliance. I'll start. So I know for me, just an interaction with the police and just my work on a day-to-day basis. And it's something I bring up in my comedy a lot. I talk about police interactions, and I try to put a interesting take and a funny take on it and a funny spin on it. But it's a real conversation. It's a real thing we need to discuss. And I teach it to my kids when I talk to them. I'm like, listen, when I interact with the police, my number one priority is what I tell myself is, Dwayne, your priority is get home. I want you to leave this interaction and go to the house tonight. That's priority number one. But Max gave an interesting take on it today, and it made me think about it. I would stand to say that that's probably a lot of people, especially when we talk about Black people, when you deal with the police. I think that's probably a lot of people's priority number one. Priority number one is probably, I'll probably say more often than not, is go home. But I think the interesting thing and the interesting take I took on it today after talking to Max, what does going home look like? Priority number one, get home. And when I think about myself, it's gonna be, I'm gonna try to diffuse the situation. But for somebody that's not like me, getting home may be a more drastic, maybe a more violent approach to make sure you get home tonight. Yeah. So I think so I'm gonna let you jump on it, Max. Like, what are your thoughts on?
Yeah, like no, I just posed a question. Like, a lot of people, where we were talking earlier, are a lot of people just at that point where it's like, I can't rely on complying, especially if the officer is coming at that person at a on a negative way. You know what I'm saying? Like his whole vibe is just off. So what is that? You know what I mean? Like the officer tell you to get out the car and goes through that whole spill, and it's like, yo, do you know what's going on TV? And you know what I'm saying? So like, what are you supposed to do in that situation? Like, and especially if you're holding and we get it, you know what I'm saying? Or we just have a conversation. Like, I'm just trying to figure out, like, how do we maneuver that?
What does it look like? I'm glad you said 2 minutes. This popped in my head just now, I feel like a lot of people throw the idea of compliance out there. Comply. What I don't think people take into account is, what does compliance look like? For example, right? If you're doing a routine traffic stop, I pulled over. Like, why didn't he comply? What does pulling over look like? Like, when does compliance? What is compliance? Does compliance mean subject myself to your will? Does compliance mean do everything you say? Because listen, you gotta think, at what point does you say endanger me at that point? Okay, I pulled over. That's compliance. I roll my window down. That's compliance. I show you my license and registration. That's compliance. Why does compliance have to be? Because listen, at what point does? Because listen, let me ask this: does that include being shot?
Right.
Or
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a conversation. Like, I don't feel comfortable. Like, I just don't. I'm gonna do everything I need to do. I don't feel comfortable.
I agree.
My bad. I ain't mean to cut you off.
No, you good. Like, in my personal opinion, I feel like, I'm gonna say, how can I say this without being respectful? I feel that
we can have a conversation at this point. Go ahead, throw it out there.
And I don't want to say, because it's not white America. I would say, when it comes to, because it's not just white America, because obviously Black people do it too, saying that you need to be compliant. Does compliant mean that I have to subject to any questions or any physical harm? Because you, like, where does the line cross between me being a human being to being like your servant? Like, where's that line? And they don't define that. I even literally saw a video yesterday where a white person got arrested in Pittsburgh because the officer had a face painting of a mask, but it wasn't the colors of the American flag. So all the individual said was, you're not supposed to wear that because you're not supposed to deface the flag. The officer told him to leave, and because the person didn't walk away from the officer used his authority to arrest the person. He didn't tell the person what he was arrested for, and then he decides to go into the person's book bag, and it was an illegal search. And I'm talking about there's white people that are filming this, and this is happening to a white person. So it's not even like a black or white thing. It happens more to black people, but it happens to white people too. But it happens to white people that challenge the police. People that don't challenge the police, it doesn't happen to them. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy, man.
People that challenge authority, that's where it happens to.
But I'm saying my thing is this. Like, I don't feel like, you know, if it's a conversation to be had, like an officer, you know, like, officer, can I be honest? Like, I don't feel in the compliant. You know, I'm gonna comply to what you say, but I don't feel comfortable with the climate that's going on. Like, I just don't feel the protect and serve, or I don't feel that way no more. You dig what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel comfortable around police. Like, you know what I mean? Police, whether black or white, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel comfortable around people that are trying to protect and serve us. I don't.
They create that environment.
The problem is there's
that's why I say
outline
about a conversation or something. Like,
I agree with you. In my personal opinion, I feel like there's no outline of how a police officer is supposed to, like, there is an outline, but I feel like they haven't defined that of, like,
it's not clear.
Is being compliant and what is not being compliant, and they haven't held, or they don't hold, like, police officers accountable for doing illegal things. They just let it slide. Like, if you do an illegal search of my car, it's like if you pull me over and you do an illegal search, you should be punished for that. But they're not. You know what I'm saying? So once officers are held accountable for even doing small things, like, say I'm recording you and you use profanity or you put your hands on me and you can be disciplined, at that point I feel that things are going to change. But because officers are not held accountable for smaller things, how do you hold them accountable for bigger things? They might have you where you're going, but what does me going, why do I have to tell you where I'm going when I got pulled over for it, like a speeding ticket? Like, does that change the outcome? Like, it should only affect, like, whatever questions you're asking me, it should be relevant for why you stopped me. You shouldn't be asking me, like, where I live at, or like, where I'm going, or why I have this type of car, or where I work at, or
where you coming from? Where you coming from?
Yeah, like, you said, like, does that change the outcome of your investigation? If it doesn't, you shouldn't be asking me.
That goes to my point too, Kurt, because I'm gonna say this. I don't feel comfortable. That's why I said I don't feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like all those questions are set up. Like, what are you trying to do? Am I going to be the next one going viral? You know what I mean?
Right. And then listen, this thing too, like, these levels of compliance. Like, why am I forced to, like, well, if you comply, why am I being asked to comply with something that shouldn't be required? Step out of the car for what? Like, why do I need to step out of the car? Like, what's going on? Like, you know what I'm saying? So you're telling people to comply.
I don't feel safe.
You're telling people to comply with things that put them in bodily harm. Because for me to step out of the car, I'm putting myself in danger. If you ask me to comply with something that's putting me in a harmful space.
And also, it's not like it's across the board. Like, it's not they have, like, guidelines. Like, if you get pulled over, if the officer tells you to get out of the car, you have to get out. There's no guidelines. So, like, you don't even know if you're right or wrong.
But you know what? Right. But you know what, Wayne? You said something earlier that kind of struck me too, because it's like, so if I say something, does that make the situation worse? So am I in a no-win situation when I'm dealing with the cops?
You're in a lose-lose situation.
It's a killer be killed type of thing.
You're in a lose-lose situation.
I got the cops right here.
Look, you're in a lose-lose situation. Look, comply, potentially put myself in harm. Don't comply, potentially put myself in harm. Because listen, I'm telling you straight up, Listen, if I get pulled over, this is what I'm going to do. I get pulled over. Police ask me, "Hey, step in the car." I'm going to politely ask, listen. And again, I'm going to control the tone. I have no problem getting out of this car, but I need you to follow me to the station. I need you to call your supervisor. Tell them I'll get out of the car. I don't mind getting out of the car. Well, listen, follow me to the station. You can follow me to the station, or I'll follow you to the station. You have my tag. You have my license. You know who I am. Call your supervisor. We're going to the station. Have your supervisor meet us outside. We'll go inside and have the conversation you want to have. I would gladly get out the car. Because listen, I'm not getting out of this car without somebody with me. Listen, no, I'm not safe.
That's what I'm saying. Are we on a high speed? I got the cops in back of me. Do I keep going now? Like, you know what I'm saying? I might not. You
lose the situation. Look, you didn't stop. I didn't feel safe. Well, I'm in a dark. I'm on a dark street with nobody's word but me and yours.
It's spooky. That's spooky, man. Like, yo,
No,
like,
we're not doing that.
I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel safe around cops. Like they say, good cops. So do I figure that out after the fact? Do I figure that out after the situation?
It's crazy.
I'm on the ground.
Listen, it's crazy that you got to operate in space. The people that's supposed to protect you, you got to even approach the person that's supposed to protect you. You even got to approach that person. You even got to approach that person from a standpoint of, I need to make sure you don't harm me. Now listen, I'm telling you, me and Matt said it coming earlier. This is what I look for, and this is a shame that I got to do all this. When I get pulled over, when the police pulls me over, number one, I got my license, registration, all that stuff is out, ready to go. Window down, everything. I'm not making no random movements, none of that. But listen, this is also what I'm looking for. I'm listening for your tone. I'm listening to see if you address me as sir. I'm listening to see if you tell me your name. I'm listening. I'm listening to see if you told me why you pulled me over, or if you're gonna ask. Listen, one or two things will happen. They'll either ask you, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" Or they'll straight up say, like, "Hey, I pulled you over because of X, Y, Z." Now I'm listening for all that from jump.
Most importantly, you should listen to facts and not opinions. Officers like to give you opinions.
Opinions. I could care less. I could care less about the opinion.
I want to know the facts.
I could care less about opinion. Tell me why you pulled me over. Well, listen. Now if you told me, I'm listening to see what you offered me first. So I'm listening for your tone before I even say anything. I'm listening for your tone. Did you address me as sir? Because listen, if an officer comes to my window and they never address me as sir, that means I already know, like, you know what, you already looking at me a certain type of way. But listen, I'll give you a little leeway. If you approach me and say, "Good evening, sir. I'm blah, blah, blah," whatever. If you tell me that, at least I'll approach you. Okay, I'll approach you on a sensible level, at least on that point. But some of these guys
tell me what I did. Go. Let's get straight to it. Let's get straight to it.
Even with illegal searches, like somebody might say, "Well, I want to search your car. So why do you want to search my car for, right? Oh, I smell marijuana. So, like, what type of, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I don't have marijuana smell in my car, what tipped you? Like, first of all, what tipped you off?
Look, I'm not even going there.
Say that I got marijuana in my car.
I'm not even going there with you. If you smell marijuana in my car and I know I have no marijuana, all right, meet me at the station. Call your supervisor. I'll piss. We could piss. Like ain't no problem to it.
Like you gotta do a DUI test. What did I do for you to say?
Did I swear?
Yeah, did I swear words? Like, what did I do?
And listen, you know what else I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna say too? Listen, know what else I'm doing? I'm not taking no field sobriety test either. Bring the breathalyzer, because I know you got one. Bring it. Because listen, field sobriety tests are jokes. It's
by interpretation.
It's not even that. It's to put you on parade, because after I do the field sobriety test, you're gonna give me a breathalyzer anyway. Why am I doing the test? You have hard evidence with the breathalyzer. Give me the breathalyzer. I'm gonna blow in the machine. It's gonna tell you my blood alcohol level. Why am I doing a field sobriety test? It's a show. Listen, the field sobriety. Now, if this was before the breathalyzer, all that, this is your way to determine. If you have a scientific way to determine if I'm under the influence or not, why not go straight there? Why are you gonna put me on parade, get me out this car, do all this other stuff to make a show out of me? If you have ways around that, like, what are we doing this for?
And also, I feel like the laws they're not like, sometimes the officers don't actually help the situation. They make it worse.
They
So
escalate it.
if I'm driving and you physically see that I'm drunk and I was like being unsafe on the road and making it unsafe for other drivers, I understand that you can take me to jail because I broke the law. If I'm parked behind the wheel and say, for example, you smell alcohol, right? It's better for you just to get me help or get me home than for you to take me to jail. You see what I'm saying? So it's like sometimes I don't feel like they use like good judgment. They don't like actually help out the citizens. Now, if you pull me, if this is like your third time, like seeing me in a park like drunk, yeah, take me to jail. If this is your first time seeing me and you have a conversation and you're like, oh, Mr. Dwayne Nettle, you got a wife, you got kids, you're evaluating the situation. You're like, obviously something's going wrong. Let me help this man. Instead of me saying, you know what? I'm going to make this guy's life harder. So I'm going to take him to jail. I'm going to make him pay more fines. And I'm going to make it more miserable his family. You see what I'm saying? It's like cops can use the law for interpretation, but I feel like they don't do that. They just use it as a source of a power, and they want you to submit to that.
They do. That's it. So listen, that's my whole thing. Like, there's no need, like, compliance. The idea of compliance, like, the idea of complying, like, it literally puts yourself in. You're putting yourself into so much danger by not complying. Like, it's a lose-lose.
Yeah, I agree.
So we seen multiple scenarios where if they just would have complied, they would still be here. Listen. If that was the case, if people were out here complying and police were relinquishing power, like, okay, and then standing down, you would have an argument. We've seen people comply and blown away. We've seen police bust up in people's houses, bam, 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 no questions asked, shoot, shot down. So you can't give me the idea of compliance is going to save you when we've seen situations where people have complied and still gotten whatever. Compliance. Listen, the idea of compliance is a joke. I'm not saying compliance ain't
if you're an officer and you're scared to do your job, you don't need to be an officer. You need to find a job that you feel safe at. So if you pull me over and you illegally shoot me because you thought I had a gun, you need to be punished. I mean, that's the only way things are going to change. I don't care if I jerk my neck. Did you see a gun? Yes or no?
You know what's crazy? No, it's crazy. Yes. This is the crazy part, right? As Black people in this country, we have to train ourselves how to deal with the police. And the police are the ones physically being trained for the job. And they the ones out here just doing like, you know, oh, I got scared.
That's crazy.
Like, you
our parents telling us, keep both hands on the steering wheel, don't make sudden movements, say yes, sir, and no, sir, right?
Look, hey, and guess what? But guess what?
Money is coming out of my check to pay you.
But listen, guess what, though? No, even that's crazy, because listen, keep both hands on the wheel. As soon as the police officer tell me to move, now what do I do?
There you go.
Now what I do? It's crazy, man. It's a joke. It's a joke.
It's like, imagine paying for a service, right? And you don't get no service. Imagine you got Comcast, right? And you call Comcast, and they're like, I don't care if you got internet or not. F you. You're gonna do what I tell you to do.
Nah, that's basically what it is.
You're paying for it, right? And they telling you, we don't care if you pay for it or not. We're gonna do what we want to do. That's exactly how it is.
Man, listen, it's backwards.
It's been a joke. Like,
it's backwards. It's backwards. I mean, if I told Max this earlier, right? And this is me being an educator, right? Being a cop, and the cops when they deal with people, they expect the civilians and the people to deal with to de-escalate the situation. That would be like me walking into my classroom and expecting my students to initiate the learning every day. That makes no sense. You're the person that's been trained. You're supposed to initiate. You're supposed to de-escalate the situation. Why am I forced to de-escalate the situation when you approach me? Why, as a civilian, why am I de-escalating the situation with the police? Like, what? I got to de-escalate you. You getting hyped. So I got to break the situation down. I got to remain calm. Why is that? Why is all that put on me as a civilian when you the trained professional? It makes no sense.
Like, if you run from the cops, you don't have a right to shoot me.
It's over.
Like, it should be like levels in order to use deadly force. Like, I mean, like, you try to run me over with your car, or like I'm talking about, you can see it on video with me trying to like shoot you. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But if I don't use lethal force,
if I'm not a threat to you or somebody else, why are you eliciting deadly force to pursue me? Like,
Even with trying to arrest people, right? Okay, so you slam the person on the ground, right? Why do you? What is the purpose of you punching them for? Like, why?
right.
Why? What is the outcome of that? Is
Why,
that gonna
why are you punching
make the
somebody with
process
that?
easier? So now you're telling me that in order for you to arrest me, I got to be unconscious
Yeah, man,
now?
cause, oh,
You're
look,
not listening.
why you gotta hold me down so I can't breathe? Like, okay,
There
I'm
you
down.
go.
I'm
So it's
down.
like a whole bunch of questions that I don't think America ready to have that conversation. They're not ready to have it.
They not.
And I feel like, yeah, if we just came on CNN, bro, and we lit them up, bro, we might not even be allowed tomorrow. They might literally put, like, I'm talking about, somebody might stage outside and be like, you know what? I'm sitting outside and I'm waiting to Curtis Rivera or Jose Rivera leaves without his seatbelt, and I'm gonna pull him over and I'm gonna make his life a living hell. Instead of analyzing the situation, be like, you know what? These are like human beings and these are people. Maybe we're like doing this the wrong way. Like,
They want to listen. They want to have that conversation, bro. They want to have that conversation. And it ain't everybody. And let me say that too. Let me not. It's not my means to come in here and villainize everybody who ever do it. But I'm just talking about the system. The system.
No,
The
you got to
system.
villainize all of them.
No. Listen, no. This is why I say.
There's
This is why
good
I say, Jose.
cops out there, but it's
This is why I
like,
say.
yo,
This is why I say, Jose. This is why I say, Jose. I'm not gonna villainize everybody because what I also want to stand for. Because that's what they do to us. They vilify us as black people. They throw us all in
I
this
don't
one
want
boat.
to, though,
They
man.
throw us all in this one boat. No, that's what I'm saying. So I'm not gonna fall into the boat of what they do. Because I'm not
But
gonna.
that's why I said the
I'm not gonna
conversation.
reflect. I'm not gonna reflect the mirror. So that's why I'm very clear in saying I'm talking about those very specific people. I'm talking about that very specific system that lets people off. Because listen, there are good people out here, but I'm talking specifically to those who abuse their power, specifically those who buy into a system that lets people off the hook. Those people I'm talking to y'all. So that's what I'm talking.
And I'm not
It's
saying
frustrating.
I'm not saying that you got to villainize, but if I'm doing a crime, right, and both of y'all are in the vicinity and y'all see me and y'all don't tell, y'all can go to jail, right, for not telling. Like, they can get you as an accomplice. Like, you can literally be in the car with me and you can go to jail, right? So it's like, as officers, if you see another officer beating on someone or doing something illegal, I'm just saying, if I'm in a room and there's 4 other guys and they were raping a woman, right, and I didn't do nothing, public opinion is going to destroy me. You know why? Because I didn't do anything to stop it. Why don't we hold police to the same accountability? You're telling me there's one officer beating a person, right? I'm talking about half to death, right? And you got 3 other officers literally watching that one officer doing it, and you're not going to hold them to the same standard, right?
You got to.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's like when they start.
I'm definitely talking to them. I'm just talking about
yeah. So, and another thing I'm saying, right, is like the officers that don't say anything, right, is like you're not making a difference. Like, call those people out. Like, I watched that movie with Tyrese, where I think it's called Black and Blue with the girl. Like, if you watch the movie, you would literally think that that's like every officer wants to be like the lead character. She's trying to do the right thing, right? But no, in reality, that shit is like, that's like a false narrative. That movie is a false narrative. That movie shows like, oh, well, if you're a police officer and you do the right thing and you go get the information to the people you need to get it to, you're going to be rewarded and change is going to happen. That is a false narrative. You go report it, you're going to lose your job and get fired. Point blank. It's a false narrative. It's a fact that there are dirty cops that do what they do and nothing happens to those cops. It has to be like extreme situations where like you literally see them like stealing money from like drug dealers. But just as far as an officer just using like excessive force, nothing happens to those officers at all. Nothing.
You know it. That's the crazy part, bro. The crazy part. All right, let's do this. We want to be too hum and drum on this topic. We just want to kind of discuss the topic, just throw it out there, let you know our feelings on the situation. So let's pivot On a lighter note, let's look at this. Discuss some comedy. So, when did this list come out, y'all? This list come out, was it yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
So, a
I
list just
think
came out.
yesterday.
So, a list just came out other day.
1 day ago.
From Comedy Hype. So, Comedy Hype ranked comedians as if they were NBA players. So, we're gonna discuss this list really quick. I wonder if I can share it. Let's see. Nah, I'm not gonna share it. I'm not gonna share it. Because knowing me, somebody gonna message my phone while I'm sharing it. Gonna see something. Somebody gonna see something stupid. All right, so we'll just discuss the list. So on the list, they have various comics ranked as NBA players. So they have Dave Chappelle. It's Michael Jordan. Eddie Murphy is Kobe Bryant. Richard Pryor is Magic Johnson. Kevin Hart is LeBron James. Bernie Mac, Shaquille O'Neal. Steve Harvey is Charles Barkley. Cat Williams, Allen Iverson. Martin Lawrence, Steph Curry. Patrice O'Neal, Rasheed Wallace. And Keenan Ivory Wayans is Phil Jackson. All right, so that's we had some discussion already on this. Let's try to chop up some of the discussion. So me and Max was kind of going back and forth about how we think this list was formed. So let's let Matt share his ideas. Matt's challenge Dave Chappelle being Mike. So Matt, let me ask you this, Matt. Who is Mike to you in your opinion? Who would you say is Mike?
It gotta be like somebody like Richard Pryor, man. You know what I'm saying? Like it gotta be, someone that's, kind of got that untouchable, type of, iconic type of, type person, type career. I'm gonna get at the Richard Pryor.
So Matt goes Pryor.
Yeah, you got to. I mean, you said Chappelle. I mean,
let me ask you this. Who, in your opinion, who is Dave? Dave should be who if you compared him to
if I was to compare Dave to somebody, it'll be like, I put Dave in the category like a KD type guy, like a Kevin Durant or Kobe type, something like that.
I can accept Kobe. I don't know about KD.
Yeah, like I mean, because they are like KD younger. He's younger, but I'm saying like on that caliber, like KD, Kobe type of guy. Like, but when it's all said and done, KD's gonna be.
Yeah, he's gonna be up there.
He's gonna be up there. You know what I mean? As far as greats go, so you can arguably he's top 1, 2. Best players in the league or top 5.
That's for you. This is my stance. When I looked at the list, just looking at the list and everybody had on it, and just looking at the comparisons they made and the notes they put on the list, in my eyes, and this is me as a stand-up comedian too. When I interpreted it as they're making this list based off their stand-up level, like them as a stand-up comedian. And in my opinion, my natural opinion, and this is me as an artist and as a consumer, from a stand-up perspective, as far as their craft, them on stage and them telling jokes, I don't know if there's anybody, in my opinion, from a process, I don't know anybody out here doing it ever at this point better than Dave, in my opinion. That's just me though. That's me.
I concur with that too, and the reason why I say that is because when I look at the name, it says comedy hype. It doesn't say comedy stand-up hype. So when I'm looking at the list, the first 5, I agree, and the reason why I agree with Richard Pryor as Magic Johnson, because Magic Johnson is a mogul. Like, he got 5 championships. He is like one of the faces for the Lakers, well respected. But I feel like when it comes to like being like the top of the, like I'm talking about like the top guy, I gotta give it to David Chappelle. Like, even with Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart is number 1 right now. I agree. And that's because of the movies, right? he's the number one guy. But when
You know,
it comes to
I don't even know the movies. I think this is what I say with Dave. Even though Dave's still active, I think they made this list. I think they put Dave as Mike because you look at when you talk about ball, like Mike is the guy. Everybody goes 9 times 10 people going to Mike is the greatest to do it. So I think they put Dave there in that regard, right? He's the greatest.
yes,
When
and
I
I
think
agree.
when they're talking in terms of active guys, when you ask most guys who's the greatest player in the NBA, like greatest active player in the NBA right now, most people would say LeBron James is that guy.
Yes,
So I think they're the same with
and
Kevin.
that's why they put Kevin Hart right
Yeah,
there.
give Dave LeBron. Like, if anything, give Dave LeBron.
No,
No. Like
you
David,
can't do that.
David's like the guy. Like he's like, and this is why I think they have Kevin as LeBron, right? I'm not going by no means am I going to say Kevin Hart is the funny. I think he's funny. I enjoy his comedy. A lot of people argue that, but I enjoy his comedy. But at the same time, a lot of people view him as far as his work ethic, as far as him doing shows and him being out there doing it. Like I don't think there's a comedian out here working harder than Kevin Hart. So therefore, I think that's why he's listed as LeBron. Like he's the guy. He's like the number one guy as far as like what he's doing on the scene currently. I think that's why he's Bron. Now, let's talk this. There's some guys missing from this list who are not on it. For example, there's no. Before we go there, are we okay with Eddie being cold? Eddie Murphy is cold.
Yes,
I'm not mad at that.
yes,
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at Kevin Hart being LeBron. I'm not mad. You know what? The Richard Pryor, I'm not mad at him. Listen to him as Magic. But if I were to pull Richard, I think I would put Richard as. I would say Richard would either be Kareem or Wilt.
huh?
My opinion. Bernie Mac.
Then if that's the case, then Eddie got to be MJ. I mean, you know, Eddie got to be MJ, man. Y'all saying Chappelle, like, come on, man, y'all tripping.
I don't think Eddie's the greatest though. Like, I mean, if we're talking about his career and what he did after stand up, but we're talking about
But a
stand
lot
up,
of
like
people don't think
he had.
MJ the greatest.
But I don't think a lot of people believe that though. A lot of people would say it. I don't think a lot of people say it. I think people
It
would say
sounds
it. I
good
don't
for
think
a
a lot
little
of people.
bit. It sounded all right though. Yeah. It sounded promising.
Bernie Mac, Shaq, I ain't mad at that. Steve Harvey, Charles Barkley, I'm not mad at that. No, I love this comparison. Cat Williams is Allen Iverson. I love that one. I love that one. And the reason they
Yeah,
have it down, Cat Williams' reputation for being the bad guy, known as an elite little guy in comedy. Allen Iverson, reputation for being the bad guy, known as the elite little man in the NBA. I mean, that's appropriate, I think.
yeah.
Martin Lawrence and Steph Curry. I don't know how I feel about that one.
I don't know about that.
I'm not feeling that one. I feel like I don't want to come off as a hater because I'm not a Steph Curry guy, but I just feel like Martin, his impact and his influence on comedy, I think it holds a little more weight than what Steph has done for the league. I think. If I had to choose Martin,
Yeah.
Martin might be KD.
Okay.
He might be KD or either KD or I don't want to say Tim Duncan. Like, I don't think it's that impactful as far as like wins necessarily. I'm gonna go KD. I'm gonna go KD with Martin. What you think about Martin, Matt?
Oh, Martin's my guy. I'm gonna have to put him like around that type of range. Like I was gonna try to get somebody around that era.
I'm
You
trying to think
know
of
what I'm
somebody old. I'm
saying?
trying to think of somebody older,
That's
but
what I'm saying. Like
listen,
a Gary Payton type, like a Gary Payton.
only thing about it, like I want him to. He got to be somebody who got some chips though, man. Gary
Gary
got
Payton
one, but
got a chip, right?
he got one, but he was a role player on that team. So I don't count. Martin was no role
But
player. Martin
still,
was a
like,
guy.
you know what I
Martin was
mean?
that
Like a
guy.
Gary, like the
Martin was
glove.
that guy. Martin was a winner though. Martin was a winner. I gotta give Martin that. He gotta be a guy who won it.
Like a Jason Kidd type, you know what I'm saying? Like
Jason won it late too though. I need him to be a guy like he led the
Steve
team and he
Nash.
won.
You know what I'm saying?
Like Martin gotta be KD, yo. He gotta be KD, yo. He gotta be KD. He gotta be.
Like D Wade, like a D Wade type, like
Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one. Like a D Wade. That's a good one.
a D Wade. Like,
All right, let's see. Patrice O'Neal, Rasheed. I ain't mad at that at all. That's super accurate. That's super appropriate.
I mean, I feel like they could have added more. If they added more players, then it would have been. But the
Well,
players they added.
let's do this then. Let's add some comments. So we'll compare some players. So Chris Rock is not only who is Chris Rock?
Like a Patrick Ewing?
Yeah,
Nah.
that's disrespectful.
Come on, Max.
That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful to my guy. No.
Like a P. Ewing?
If I had to name Chris Rock might be.
He might be a nice one.
I was about to say that. He might be Hakeem, yo. He might be Hakeem Olajuwon, yeah.
I see you, Wayne.
He's either Hakeem or
Reggie Miller.
No, get out of here, Max.
No.
Get out of here.
Come on, Max.
You Max is disrespectful.
We about to catch your screen off, man.
Max is disrespectful. All right, you know what? This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna pull out some old. We can put some old heads. I'm gonna pull out a controversial cat. Who's Bill Cosby? Who's Bill?
Bill Russell.
Is he Bill though? Is he Bill Russell? He might be. You might be right, man. Bill Cosby might be Bill Russell.
Perfect. That's a perfect one.
That's a perfect one. Minus his actions. Bill Russell is a stand-up guy, as far as I know. As far as I know. Because Bill Cosby was a stand-up guy as far as I knew when we found out otherwise later. I think that's appropriate, Max. Bill Russell. Cause Bill, he was a stand-up guy, not a stand-up guy. He was just stand-up. His stand-up was very good, what I meant to say. And then he kind of launched it to he did movies, but the TV show and the iconic stance of Bill Cosby is it's on par with Bill Russell. So I agree with that one. All right, I'm gonna throw somebody out there, Max. I'm gonna throw this one out there. Red Fox. Who's Red Fox?
Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley.
I think they got what you got with Charles though. What you got with Charles? They got Steve. They got Steve Harvey as Charles. I think Red Fox a little more heavyweight than that though. I think Red got to be somebody bringing the heat.
I'm trying to think.
Is Red Fox a Jerry West?
Could be.
He's like a Jerry West. He's like the NBA logo. He's like the guy. He didn't do everything, but he was like the guy for a while. I think Red Fox might be Jerry West. Yeah.
Oscar Robertson.
Woo! That's a good one, man. That's a good one, Oscar. Ooh, that's a good one, man. All right, let's do this. Let's throw this name out there. No, I know who Oscar Robertson is. Jamie Foxx.
Okay.
Look, you got a better one? Matt? Wait, let's see who Matt's got to say. Who is Jamie Foxx then, Matt? Who you got a better one?
I would say Jamie is because
he could do it all.
That's what I'm saying.
He does impressions. He does stand-up. He does skits. He does sitcoms. He does dramatic comedy. He does it all, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
He gotta be somebody, and he sings.
Yeah.
So he will be more like a Jason Kidd type list.
That's why I call him Oscar though, because Oscar was the Jason Kidd before Jason Kidd.
Yeah, but I want to put something more up to date too. You know what I'm saying? Or like a Grant Hill type, or like a Anthony Hardaway.
Grant Hill got hurt.
Oh, Max.
No, you know what? No, you know who Anthony Hardaway is? I think Chris Tucker is Anthony Hardaway. I think Chris Tucker's Penny. I think Chris Tucker is Penny Hardaway.
Somebody that can do it all.
He does it all, and then Chris Tucker kind of disappeared for a little bit. I think Chris Tucker's Penny. But I think Jamie's a Jason Kidd type cat. You know what? That's a little too young. I'm trying to think. Oh, I know. Who's somebody that could do it all in comedy now? Who's a do it all type guy? A younger cat.
DC Fly.
Yeah, you're right. Who is DC Young Fly? I know who I want to say. I'm gonna say mine first. I think DC Young Fly is.
He's
Russell
like a
Westbrook.
Ben Simmons.
No, he's better than Ben Simmons. I think DC is a Russell. I think DC is a Russell Westbrook.
Okay.
I think he's a Russell Westbrook. He's a young cat. He's doing it, and he could do it all. I think DC is a Russell. Who is Mike Epps?
Boogie Cousins. Boogie Cousins.
Boogie Cousins. That might be appropriate.
Funny.
That might be appropriate. Mike Helson's Boogie Cousins. All right, who is I got two more. Who is said entertainer?
Chris Webber.
He's better than Chris Webber, yo. He's better than Chris Webber. He's better than
Chris Webber wasn't bad.
I ain't saying he's bad, but he's said was a king of comedy. Like Chris Webber's not a king. Who is Chris Webber? I think said is Kevin Durant. Not Kevin Durant, Kevin Garnett. I think he's KG.
Let's go.
Okay.
I think he's KG. Who is D.L. Hughley?
Ray Allen.
Chauncey Billups.
I ain't mad at either one of those, to be honest. I ain't mad at either one of those. He's like, and the reason I say that, he's like the workhorse. He's like the workhorse. Like he's not a guy that's gonna get a whole lot of clout, like in terms of like best to do it. But he's gonna get it. He's gonna get it done though. Anybody we're leaving out? Anybody want to mention? Any other comments we should mention? Let's do a player. Let's do this. Let's do an NBA player there and see who they would be as a comment. Who is Tim Duncan? Super consistent, always winning. Oh, who is Tim Duncan, yo? I'm trying to think.
Jerry Seinfeld?
Jerry Seinfeld, Larry Bird. Jerry Seinfeld might be Tim Duncan, though. Tim Duncan might be Jerry Seinfeld. Yo, let's throw some ladies out there, yo. Who would Ellen be? Like somebody like Ellen or like Wanda Sykes.
I don't know.
Somebody like Monique. Who would Monique be? A female baller. Let me ask you.
Would be like
who is
Bill Lambert. Just everybody hates Bill Lambert.
You stupid. You a dumb, yo. You dumb.
Everybody hates Ellen.
Oh man. No, everybody love Ellen, yo.
Not now.
Not now, but everybody loves Ellen. But look, Ellen gets benefit of the doubt because people love her so much. Everybody's quiet on the matter. That's what's up, though. This is fun. This is fun. All right, let's do this. So since we're talking comedians, let's transition to our top 5. So this week's edition of my top 5 is going to be my top 5. Are we going to do my top 5 comedians or my top 5 stand-up comedians? How'd y'all prepare y'all list? I did mine based off. It don't really matter though. We'll do my top 5 comedians. My top 5 comedians. All right. So who wants to go first?
I will.
Matt's going first. All right. Matt's going first.
Coming in at number 5.
That's in order.
Man, who I had at number 5? I didn't have an order, but I had Cat Williams.
Oh, okay.
Martin Lawrence.
Ooh. All right.
Richard Pryor.
Okay.
Eddie Murphy.
Oh.
And
my man, Bernie Mac.
Ooh, oh, man, listen, I don't even want to go no more. That was an amazing list.
Whoa.
I don't even want to go no more.
Let me give you an amazing list because
I don't even want to go no more.
You got some interchangeable pieces. I like Mac's list though. Number 5.
I love Mac's list. All right, go Jose.
Number 5, Charlie Murphy.
Woo, Charlie Murphy.
Number 4.
That's my guy.
Kevin Hart.
Okay, Kevin. Okay.
Number 3, Eddie Murphy.
All right.
Number 2, Bernie Mac.
Okay.
Number 1, Dave Chappelle.
Man, y'all some fanboys, man. Y'all some Dave Chappelle fanboys.
Dave,
Chappelle Show. Chappelle Show.
Ooh.
I love that show though. I
Let me hear
love
your
that
list,
show.
Wayne, as a comedian. Let me see if your list
As a list, I'm gonna tell you my list. So I did my top 5. My top 5 is based off. This is my top. This is my top 5. My personal top 5.
Okay.
So my top 5 is based off people I'm fans of and people I admire. This people that reflect my style as a comedian too. So my taste and my style as a comic. So this is my top 5. So this is basically like my top 5 comedians and my top 5 comedy influences. And this is in no particular order. Well, my number 1 is in order. My number 1 is my number 1, but the rest is not in particular order. All right. So 5, we have. This is what started it all for me. This is the first comedy special I ever saw from this guy, Eddie Murphy.
Okay.
Like when I first saw Raw and Delirious, listen, number 1, I don't know why I'm that young watching that and why the jokes are making me like laugh till my stomach hurt. Like why that was always admirable to me. Like how can a man like rap about adult material and make a child like laugh? Like how
My
do you
mama
make the
always
connection to a
said
child?
Eddie Murphy cuss too much.
Yo,
Like, you will watch it?
Oh, he would cuss like a
Oh
motherfucker.
man, she's like, yo, he cuss too much.
Eddie,
She like, come here.
Listen, Eddie Murphy's joke about Bill Cosby calling him is like my favorite. Yo, he was like, Bill Cosby called me. He's like, Bill Cosby my idol. He was like, you can't say that word. He like, what? He like, what word, Bill? You don't know what word I'm talking about. He like, what word? You can't say dick. He like, yo, when Eddie said he called Richard Pryor, he like, yo, Richard, Bill called me, said he like he don't like me saying dick in my stand up, yo. He like, when you tell jokes, you niggas laugh. He was like, yeah. He said, tell that motherfucker I said suck my dick. Yo, I love that shit, yo. That shit's hilarious. All right. Number 4, my guy Chris Rock, OG in comedy, amazing social commentary. Love Chris Rock's material. This is a surprise entry on the list, but this is one of my favorite comments. I love his dryness. I love his dry humor. He's a guy I look up to.
Can I say it? Who I think it is?
You gonna guess? Take a guess. You're not gonna
DL.
guess. Not Dia. Dia's on my list, but it's not Dia. But this guy, his dryness, like I admire it. Like a lot of his dryness and a lot of stuff he says, it just like it comes out of left field. Deion Cole, is one of the funniest cats in the game to me. I love Deion Cole. So Deion Cole is on my list. Jose got the head of the wagon, so this guy is next on my list. My guy, DL Hughley. I just really respect DL's his social commentary. He's very straightforward. He's very brash. Very unapologetic about his jokes and his form of comedy. He really lives in his truth. Something I admire a lot. And you guys already know the GOAT, greatest to ever do it, greatest to ever pick up a mic. The boy Dave Chappelle, man. Listen.
Chappelle Show.
Chappelle Show.
Chappelle Show.
Listen, Dave was great. Listen, Dave was great to ever do it. One,
my mom bought me all the DVDs, and I used to watch them shits with my mom. Like the
Dave
one
Chappelle,
when he had like humped the freaking volcano dog, when he was like Godzilla. Oh my god, dog.
Oh no, listen, the black white supremacists.
Yes, my mom. Listen, my mom Panamanian. She loved that shit, dog.
Listen, Dave Chappelle. He divorced his wife for 30 years. He's like, why? Quite frankly, she's a nigger lover.
But listen, he also had other great comedians. Well, I would say other
he featured other great comedians too.
Listen, the Wayne Brady episode.
The Wayne Brady
oh my
great.
God.
He made Dave Chappelle made Charlie Murphy a household name. Bro.
Yes, and that's why I love Charlie. I love Charlie Murphy because of David Chappelle and because of Paper Soldiers. Oh my God!
Hey,
dog.
listen,
Paper
he even reached back.
One of my favorite movies, dog.
Listen, Dave even reached back to the OGs, like the fact that he had Paul Mooney on his show on the regular.
Yes.
Nero Damas, bro.
Yes.
Nero Damas.
Yo, how great? We might have to say that for like a future show. Like, how great was the
With the
Dave
Chappelle,
Chappelle show?
listen,
Like,
Dave Chappelle show was iconic. Yeah,
So
that joint was the
I got all
truth.
the DVDs, dog.
he'll never be there. Listen, I'm
And you
glad
know
they'll
what
never get
too?
to.
You know what too though, Wayne? It came at like when did it come out? Like right after like 9/11, didn't it? Like right after, not I don't know
I
if
think
right after, but
it
it
was.
came at like a right time. Like
It was like
It
yeah,
did.
it was yeah.
We needed that.
We did.
yeah, I think
But
it came in like around that time frame, like
yeah,
after
but
it
bro,
was needed.
the thing with Dave is the GOAT in my opinion because like Dave does like as far as like the level of skill and putting things together and putting things adjacent to each other that don't go and making it work and making it relatable and then making it relatable across the board. Like Dave Chappelle's content is very black, but his audience is is a very mainstream audience.
Put it like this. Put it like this. If Dave, we was talking about just Dave Chappelle show, like he'd have been like on number. I love that show. Like you know what I mean. That'd be like my number one. Dave Chappelle over number one just off the show alone.
Dave is. Man, listen. Even him coming back to stand up, doing stand up specials, the last 4 stand up specials I've seen from Dave Chappelle, been like bam, 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 knocking them out the park. Every single one I've seen, and I'm watching every one like this can't get better. Every one is bro, it's like man, this might be the greatest thing I've ever seen. This might be the greatest thing I've ever seen. This might be the greatest thing I've ever. Listen, when I saw Dave Chappelle, listen, and he's very humble, but he knows he's good at it. Dude legit got on stage said, yo, I'm so good at writing jokes. He like, I'm too good at it. And this fool said, I write jokes backwards. And I thought that was a joke. But he proceeds to write the joke backwards on stage. He like, I write my jokes with the punchline first. He's like, I just reach into the bowl, grab a punchline, pull it out, and I write a joke about it. Well, this man pulled the punchline out on live, on stage, and read the punchline. It said, and then I kicked her in the pussy. And then told the joke later in the show, seamless. Crowd goes crazy. Like tells this long, elaborate story after the fact about like stovetop stuffing, yo. We like, what the fuck did nigga talk about? And then at the end, he was like, we ran out of stovetop. And then I kicked her in the pussy.
Oh my God.
Crowd goes crazy, man. Bruh, I've never seen anything like it, yo. Like he's too good. He's too good. Like the joke you told about Jesse Smollett, bruh. Like it's Dave Chappelle. He's a goat. He's a goat. He's a goat. There's nobody else. There's nobody else touching him. It's not close. Not close. But that's my opinion. That's my opinion.
Debatable.
That's my top 5. I'm gonna leave it there. Oh man, it's been a fun episode, guys. It's been a fun episode.
That's debatable. What we going,
Oh god. All right, so let's toss it to the end. Let's wrap it up. Shameless plug. What we got going on? But what we got going on besides the last HipHop EP that's about to drop?
Man, listen, I'm just waiting for the right time just to it's crazy. I was up with Daryl. I'm talking about we was up like 4 a.m, like just listening to like I got so much. I probably got like 3 videos I could drop. I probably got 2 like content videos, like interviews that I could drop. Project is basically done. I'm just trying to secure funds just to wrap everything up. That's my biggest problem. I feel like with the pandemic, it's kind of like you don't want to like bet against yourself and say like I don't want to take my money and it's not going to work, but you got to be realistic. So you don't want to like take the rest of the money you got and you put it into something that you know that's going to take is going to be a marathon and then you end up losing out. So it's just like I'm just trying to secure like funds where I don't have to worry about like tomorrow. I can like just put out my project and do what I need to do and move forward from there. So, so I got some things that should be coming. I would say like the next couple of weeks where I should be able to drop some freestyles, some visuals. You know what I'm saying? I'll definitely reach out to you guys and see if the platform is possible to drop the content. If not,
listen. The platform is always
listen.
the first place
That's what I say. I don't want to be the type of guy where I'm like.
The platform is always the first place of promotion.
Yeah. So But we'll talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna see if I can line up some things for me and Max to get some records done and some videos done too. So.
Oh yeah, you didn't mention your first 5 minutes of doing stand-up comedy.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna be ready. Listen. You already know. I was a class clown at Benedict.
We going to the last.
I was a clown at Benedict. You already know how I do it, bro. I'm coming. Listen.
Hey, we ready.
I'm like Jim Jones. Off with your koopy. I'm coming, bro.
We ready.
You already know how it is.
We ready.
Listen. Niggas tell jokes every day, B. They tell jokes every day. I'm ready, Max.
But do the people laugh?
I'm just saying, man. Just listen. As long as Max have on, the Dickie suit.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying? The he gotta have the Dickie that Philly wear. Put on the Dickie suit. The state property one. We gonna be rocking out.
My boy ready.
I'm gonna have my Rico Suave Panama outfit. You ready to go?
All right, I see you. Shout out to Jose. Jose got some stuff in the works. What you got, Max?
Oh, dang, man. Oh, man. I'm trying. I don't want to talk. I gave you a snippet. Listen, hold on. I gave y'all a snippet a couple weeks ago, man. I'm trying to keep things on the racks right here. I don't want to talk too much. I want to keep things on the racks.
Max moving on the cover.
I just want to keep things on the racks, man. I'm
chilling, man. So Max is working on the Last in Hip Hop EP. He's working on his first 5 minutes. He's working on his first 5. He's working on his first 5 minutes of stand-up comedy.
He's working on the single too.
And he's working on that first single. First single. Coming soon.
Max, should we put Wayne in the video or not, bro?
Yeah, Wayne, Wayne can A&R. He can come in the video. Wayne can do whatever he wants.
Wayne was trying to pull out some exclusive stuff, bro. Like, I'm gonna be
Wayne can do everything he wants, man. He's in that position, man.
You already know how I get that.
He's elite, man. Wayne's elite. You already know.
Listen, we have to do a false narrative one day. Is Wayne that is really elite, or is he a culture vulture when it comes to fashion?
That's a good question. Is he a culture?
But Wayne, don't respond, Wayne. That's for a whole nother conversation, bro. Yeah, keep pulling it out, bro.
Is Wayne a culture vulture?
Yeah, is he a culture vulture?
Nah, he ain't no culture vulture. You can't be a culture vulture and be for Black Lives Matter.
Right. I am the culture. I am the culture. Look, y'all trying
is the Dame Dash of fashion.
Y'all trying to steal on me for my shameless plug. Y'all, that's all right.
What you got going on?
All right, so by the time this goes up, I'm performing today in Columbia at Curiosity Comedy as a part of. I'll be opening for Jen Snyder along with Marcus D and some other comics. So I'll be a part of that showcase tomorrow at 4 o'clock p.m. Got a few shows coming up. Matter of fact, you can catch me every Tuesday like normal at R&B Grill, performing there at 8 o'clock, doing open mic. I'm also gonna be, flyer came out today. I'm gonna be a part of the Warehouse Laughs show on September 27th at Warehouse Comedy Show, featuring Jen Snyder, Wayne Cousins, Brown Sugar, and myself. Donations welcome. Please donate. It's gonna be a virtual show. I'm gonna get you guys the link to that once it comes out. Okay. I'm on the lineup for the Sauce Got Goat Jokes Presents What's Happening October 3rd comedy show. Myself, Ryan Pishoff, Michael Garrett, Jess Gill, and Don Garrett. I'm gonna be a part of that show as well. So a lot of stuff in the works, a lot of stuff coming up. Working on new material. Have a new show in development that should be coming real soon. I'll be reaching out to of course, my brother's gonna be involved in it, of course. But that's coming really soon. Gonna be working on this skit for the Last in Hip Hop EP. I'm gonna work on executive producing that, and I'm gonna be executive producing King Jose and Maxie Speed's first 5 minutes of stand-up comedy.
Hey, bro,
This guy,
I'm
man. This
listening
guy needs
already,
to
bro.
stop, man. Come on,
That's
man.
I'm
it.
listening. Trump, Donald Trump,
Mm.
bro. I'm coming for you, buddy.
Coming for you, Donnie.
Nah, that's what's up.
We're coming for you,
That's
Donnie.
Hey, matter of fact, let me do this. I want to test a joke, yo. I haven't done this joke yet. I want to test it.
Go ahead.
So it's actually part of a joke I already written. So I have a joke where I talk about the secret war going on in the black community. And the war I'm talking about is the war between dark-skinned people and light-skinned people. So I actually hate Morris Chestnut. Morris Chestnut is my arch nemesis. I hate that nigga.
Damn.
But I thought about it, right? I was trying to figure out. I was like, hey, if there was a real war, where can light-skinned people be from, and where can dark-skinned people be from? So I had the idea. Light-skinned people are from a place called Light Skindia, and the people there are light Skindians. And then I thought dark-skinned people come from a place called what would I call it? I called it Choclasia. It's called Choclasia.
You could call this
And the dark-skinned people are Choclasians.
aka Dark Hades.
You stupid. Oh, Dark Hades. Dark Hades.
Hey, so hey, listen, where the brown skinned people from?
I don't know where y'all from. Y'all gotta choose a side. Y'all gotta pick.
Brownsylvania.
Stupid. Brownsville. Hey, y'all boo. That's not gonna be in the first 5 minutes. That's not gonna be the first 5 minutes. Y'all from Brownsville. y'all from Brownsville.
Yes,
Brownsville, New York.
bro.
Brownsville, New York.
Words of wisdom.
Man. Words of wisdom. What we got? What we got today? Matter of fact, I had something. Matter of fact, I got.
Who turn is it? Who
Do
turn
one of
is
y'all
it?
have something? Does anybody have something? I got something.
Kurt, I think it's your turn.
To give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift. This is by the late Steve Prefontaine.
Bow.
On that note,
we are. I fucks with it. On that note, this has been another episode of Last on Hip Hop Podcast. Again, shout out to my brothers. Great day reminiscing on the beginnings. Shout out to everybody who supported us thus far. Shout out to everybody who's played a part in our founding, whether it's at the podcast, whether that's us in general. We appreciate you. We appreciate the support of the IG page. Continue to check us out on YouTube. Follow us on IG at Last on Hip Hop Podcast. Follow our individual pages at Mr. Nettles on IG, at _Maximilian.s, and at King Jose Rivera on Instagram.
yes.
Thanks for the love. Appreciate you. Like, comment, share, and we will see you guys next week. Peace.